Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alex, and my group has decided to create a Broadway themed hotel. And it's going to be called the Broadway Hotel in Queens, New York. The property that we found is a very small, quaint, boutique hotel kind of feel, and it has 3 floors with 20 rooms per floor. So on each floor, we'll have the rooms themed towards a Broadway show. So each floor will have 2 different shows. So we will have 6 shows total, if that makes sense. So, like, the first floor will be half Wicked, half Lion King, for instance. So, 10 rooms per show. We also will have a fitness center, an indoor pool, sauna, and a restaurant on property. The restaurant's going to be similar to Ellen's Stardust Diner in New York City, which is a restaurant that's kind of themed around the wait staff performing for the guests. So a lot of the wait staff will sing and perform, and it's also pretty common for Broadway stars to start working at Ellen's. So that's just kind of something cool that a lot of tourists want to go to. And since we are in Queens, which, by the way, is about 10 miles away, but with the traffic in New York City, it takes about 30 to 40 minutes to get to New York City. So the guest will enjoy having our restaurant in Queens without having to travel to New York City. We also will, for the restaurant, we'll choose a different show to theme the performances by for each month, just to like kind of keep a theme rolling. And so whenever guests book to stay at our hotel, that will be something that will be marketed, so the guests will know what show we're highlighting for the month. Throughout our research, we found that there really are no hotels that are Broadway themed, which was kind of surprising to all of our group members, because like Broadway is such a huge attraction for New York City, and even outside of New York, like there are so many off-Broadway shows, but we haven't found a Broadway themed hotel. So we thought that this would be a really great and unique idea and concept to come up with.
Alright, now we're going to talk about the design concept of Broadway Hotel. Everything inside the hotel will bring the Broadway shows to life for all of our guests. Once the guests once guests walk in, they'll notice the front desk as a box office, and they are walking on a red carpet surrounded by red rope. And once the guests get to the front desk, they'll notice a white sign lit up saying, "The Broadway Hotel presents check in here." And all over the walls of the lobby, guests will notice murals of their favorite Broadway shows such as Annie, Lion King, Wicked, Chicago, Hamilton, Phantom of the Opera, you name it. And after the guests check in, the front desk staff will give them their Broadway theater ticket that will act like their room key. And then the Broadway Hotel will contain 3 floors. There'll be 2 themes per floor. So when the guest uses the elevator, it'll be in the middle of the floor. One side will be one theme, and the other side will be the other theme. For example, the first floor starts off with Wicked and Chicago. When you walk towards the Wicked theme, the hallway is green, and there are Wicked posters, murals, and lyrics all over the walls. And when guests get to their room, they'll notice that each hotel room door will have a golden star with their room number posted on it, as if they were backstage in their makeup room or whatever. When guests go inside their room, they'll notice that every piece of furniture in the room is emerald green, such as their bedding, lamp, couch, love seats, etc. The the wall is painted with the Emerald City in the background, including the yellow brick road connected to the floor in front of the bed, and then goes all across the room. The mirrors attached to the dressers will have the huge light bulbs like they do backstage. If the guest decides to have, they don't decide, but if they have the Chicago theme, they'll notice the colors shift to red, black, and gold. Totally different. The furniture in the rooms will be red, and the bed will have a red comfort with black pillows, kind of set the theme of the play. And the only thing that will stay the same is the light up mirror. And going off of both themes, so you can listen to in the background of the hallway. You can listen to some of the famous songs from those musicals. Second floor will consist of The Lion King and The Phantom of the Opera. The Lion King, the hallways will consist of some of the famous scenes through the Broadway musical. And as you walk down the hallway, the guests will hear some familiar tunes such as Hakuna Matata. And then once inside the hotel room, the walls would be painted with the African setting with all the characters from the show. And then this color scheme would be orange, yellow, and red. So like some fun little things, especially if you have children with you. The bed can have Simba plushes or any of the other characters. And since The Lion King's a lot of catchy songs, there will be lyrics across the walls. And on the other half of the floor would be Phantom of the Opera, and the colors would shift over to white, black, and red, just like the musical. And once again, the guests will be able to see scenes from the Phantom of the Opera and hear music from the Broadway show itself. Once inside the room, guests will notice the classic chandelier hanging in their room, royal red furniture, especially with the curtains, and roses with white masks. Last but not least, the third floor will consist of Hamilton and Aladdin. If you're on the Hamilton side, you will notice the scene will take you back in time with Alexander Hamilton and other familiar presidents. And once again, the walls will be covered with the scenes from the actual Broadway show, and music will be playing in the hallway. And then guests walk in, they'll notice the primary color is gold. The bedding and the decoration pillow will say Playbill written all over it. The curtains and the furniture will match the bedding, and then guests will notice the famous quotes, lines posted on the bedroom walls as well. Last but not least, the Aladdin theme. Aladdin is taking place in Morocco, so the hotel rooms would have a Moroccan theme. And the guests can see from the beginning to end of the scenes in the Broadway show all over the walls, and even the scene of Aladdin and Jasmine on the magic carpet ride. When guests enter the room, they'll notice a main prop from the show. The magic lamp will be on display as a decoration, make you feel like you're actually there. The room will be filled with it'll be a colorful theme with purple, gold, red, and green. And then the walls will consist of scenes and lines from the show.
When opening up a hotel, you have to make sure that people know who you are and know what your brand. So for our 5 marketing strategies, the first one is that we're going to do an open house. This way that will draw people in the doors and actually show them the inside of our hotel, how it's made up, and how we're going to operate it. The second one is a social media giveaway. This will require people to tag 3 people, and share our posts. This way we can get our name out there and more people can see it than just the people that are in our area. The next one is we will have ads at all of the Broadway shows. So then that way when people go, they'll see our ads and they'll want to come stay at our hotel. This fourth one is if you bring in your ticket stub from a show, we will give you a discounted rate for your room for the weekend. And then the 5th one is to promote ourselves with an online travel agency. By doing this, that will get our name out there and where other people can see it who are not in our area, and hopefully draw in more people. So for our strengths, we will have a different theme than other hotels in our area. So that would be a good thing. And then one of our weaknesses would be being a new hotel in the area, and people might be hesitant to come and stay at our hotel because we're new and we don't have that much experience with customers. But one of the opportunities that we will have is that we are only 2.7 miles or 10 minutes away from the Broadway Theater. And our hotel will offer shuttle to and from the theater when you stay at our hotel. And then one of our threats would be other hotels that are close by. There could be more, they could be closer to the Broadway Theater or downtown.
Good afternoon, my name is Matthew. I'm going to talk about the policies and procedures for the Broadway Hotel. To start off with, we will have a check-in policy, which is stating our check-in time is at 4 p.m. So they may check in before the 4 p.m. time, but their room is not guaranteed to be ready. And since the room might not be ready, we will offer luggage storage and their luggage to be delivered to their room when they arrive back and their room is ready at the hotel. We'll also have the guests must have a photo ID available and present to check in at the hotel, and they must be of the age of 21 or older to check in. And they also must leave an active debit or credit card on file with us at the front desk for any incidentals upon checking in. We will have a checkout policy which states they are checked out at 11 a.m. or before 11 a.m. And they either have the choice of leaving their room keys in the room or leaving them at the front desk when they check out at the front desk with the guest service agent. Then we have a housekeeping policy for the housekeepers that they have to keep the highest quality and standards of the hotel. And then we also will offer a linen service, which is for all the laundry that guests may have if they do choose to use that additional service of the hotel. For laundry and linen, for the housekeepers, they need to make sure all the soiled linens be put in a cart and taken directly to the housekeeping cleaning room so they do not contaminate the clean linens that the housekeepers will use to put in the rooms that they are cleaning for the day. And then maintenance requests, housekeepers need to file a maintenance or housekeeping request, and they need to be handled within 10 minutes of one being put in if they are able to resolve the problem issue. If not, the guest needs to be contacted to be notified when that maintenance request will be fixed. We will have a safety and security, which is for the security and safety of the guests and the staff is essential. So we're going to have training in place within 90 days of being hired for the hotel that the staff must undergo. That's any staff member working within the property. And then we'll also have a workplace safety, which the hotel must comply with the state and local laws and safety requirements of the location of the hotel. Since it is in New York, they need to comply with exit signs, fire extinguishers, and wet floor signs for any guest in the property. Then we'll also have since alcohol might be in the property, we'll have a alcohol procedure that only the certified staff can serve the alcohol who have properly been trained through the Serve Safe Alcohol Certified program. And we will allow pets in rooms based on available rooms that are pet friendly, and those will be a $20 per day for the pets, and that requires a $150 pet fee.
Alright, hey you guys, it's Jami. I'm going to be discussing the viability and practicality of our hotel concept. So we decided as a group that a Broadway themed hotel would not only be cool and unique, but could be very profitable in the right location and with the right crowd. So we took this theme and ran with it, and we used it as the basis for all of our decisions. So we chose Queens, New York for our location, and according to Google Maps, Queens is only like a 12-mile drive to Broadway, so it's really not too far. It's far enough from the Broadway scene, like the hustle and bustle of it, so that if these tourists don't want to be overwhelmed all the time while they're there, then they don't have to be. But it's also close enough to experience everything else New York has to offer, which is a lot. So then our target markets are either tourists interested in Broadway shows or tourists looking for a unique experience. Again, we base this around our Broadway theme, and we figured these types of tours could obtain that great unique experience from the Broadway Hotel, especially with the Broadway show themed rooms and decor. There aren't really any themed hotels in the area, so this works well with our target market. And while there are many other boutique hotels near Queens, none really quite add up to ours. So, for one example, the Paper Factory Hotel is just one of these hotels that we can consider competition. The building is actually based in an old paper and radio factory, and they use as many reclaimed products as possible, so they're very sustainable. The rustic vibe of this hotel attracts many guests, but their theme and concept aren't really comparable to ours. Another hotel is actually the Pearl, New York, but it is actually located in the theater district. So it's perfect for those tourists who want to be in the middle of it all the whole time they're there. But other than that, and there's really not a unique experience associated with that hotel. It's really not themed. It's just kind of fancy. But, I mean, I think our hotel has a step up on that. So based on my research, I believe that our hotel could be extremely profitable. I looked up the average ADR occupancy rate and RevPAR of hotels in the Queens and New York City area. So these numbers are as follows. The average daily rate in and around New York City is $257. The average occupancy rate is 87.3%, which is pretty good actually. And the average RevPAR is $228.96 to be exact. So when you look at these numbers along with the number of hotel rooms we have and the number of guests we expect to see coming and going throughout the months, the years, days, etc., whatever, I think profitability is almost inevitable. We expect to see growth due to becoming more popular and becoming more well-known in the area and surrounding areas. So hopefully these stats remain true and our expectations turn into reality.